G'day guys, in today's short video we're going to talk about diamond python care, so stick around, I hope you enjoy.
So this video comes as a request from Brandon. I hope this video helps you, Brandon, and I hope you have a great time enjoying your new diamond python. Cheers, mate.
So diamond pythons are one of my favourite pythons in Australia. These guys are the world's most southern species of python, and unlike common beliefs, they're actually super simple to care for and very hardy. So I'm in Sydney, so I'm actually in these guys' native range. Quite often when I go out herping I do find these guys. When I used to do house calls and stuff through Sydney Wildlife, these were probably the most common snake that I'd ended up going and catching. They're a beautiful snake species, and as I said, very simple to care for. Not a lot of people seem to believe that they're super easy to care for, especially overseas in places like the US and Europe. I think a few people still kind of believe the whole myth about diamond python syndrome. So this enclosure here, this is 120 centimeters long, 120 centimeters high, 60 centimeters deep, and currently it does have 3 diamond pythons in it. Now they're not all housed in here permanently. I've just got a couple of the smaller jungles and smaller diamonds in there, just to see if I can actually get my big girl arrow to become gravid. I haven't actually bred these guys yet. I have hatched diamond python clutches, but they've been wild diamond python eggs that have been, you know, mum's been hurt on the nest or whatever and not made it, so then I've had to come intervene and hatch these guys out. However, as I said, these guys will hopefully become gravid, and then these guys can go back into their actual enclosures. So the younger 2 snakes that I got in here, I actually believe them to be both a male and a female, but just in case I've got it the wrong way around or something like that, I thought I'd put them both in there, just in case one of them does turn out to be, or you know, they turn out to be 2 boys or something like that. Unlike other carpet pythons, diamond males won't combat, so there's no real harm in having them in the same enclosure as one another. The 2 smaller snakes, while they're not being housed in here with the big girl arrow, they do go into my big snake rack, where the tub sizes are probably about 1 metre or so long, 50 centimetres wide, and about 20 centimetres high or thereabouts. I do have a plan to actually put them into a normal enclosure as well, just to give them a bit more leg room, but I don't mind getting them out and putting them in here. And occasionally as well I do put them out in the turtle pond area, just to get a little bit of natural UV on some of the cooler days as well. Obviously I just don't want them to cook in the sun. You know, so yeah, they're beautiful snakes, beautiful temperaments. I don't think I've been bitten by too many diamonds, well at least not captive diamonds. I've been bit by a couple of wild specimens while relocating them, but nonetheless, beautiful snakes. I'm very lucky to have these animals. So as far as care goes, as you can see, the enclosure's got some nice big branches. It's also got a massive hide down this end of the enclosure here, and we've also got a basking shelf up the other side. So underneath the hide down this end, I've got a heat cord wrapped in between a few tiles, and I've set the temperature on that heat cord on a good Habitat thermostat to about 30 degrees Celsius. So you don't really want them getting too much hotter than that. They can handle a bit of an extreme heat, because it does get hot here in Sydney. You know, we do get up to 40-degree days on the odd occasion. But at the same time, in the wild, they'd be finding a little micro habitat where they'd be getting away from that heat. So in captivity, I have that set to 30 degrees for 18 hours a day, 6 hours of night time where it goes off completely. And then also up here underneath the basking shelf, I've also got a heat panel up there which comes on to about 32 degrees, so if they do want to get their body temperature up a little bit, or if they've recently eaten or something like that, they can actually digest their food properly. In saying that, the heat panel is only on for about 12 hours a day, so it doesn't come on for, you know, a very extended period of time. So most of the time when I do come into the diamond python's cage, these guys are quite cool. As I said, this is only going to be a brief overview of this video. You know, if I'm lucky enough to get eggs out of this girl, then we'll go a bit more into hatching these guys out and caring for youngsters. Although it's not too much different from your regular carpet pythons, to be honest. So, you know, it's not all that exciting. I know that these guys are a very sought after species overseas in particular. I know the guys in the US really love these guys. But over here in Australia, they're super common pets to have, and beautiful animals. So, you know, I don't think you can go wrong with these guys at all. They're beautiful natured little snakes. And to be honest, I don't think they come any prettier as far as any of the Spilota family come. Although I might be a little bit biased about that. So yeah, these are my two younger animals here. These guys are probably around 4 years old or thereabouts now. The previous owner didn't grow them up too quickly. Well, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just decided to put a little bit more size on them, so they're, I don't know, probably in the vicinity of about 1.2 metres each. Not overly big animals, but, you know, a little bit more robust now. Quite comfortably, they'll be eating about a medium rat or thereabouts. Beautiful, beautiful little snakes. These guys are both recently shed as well, so the colours on them are looking fantastic. See if I can get the big girl out and see if we can get some footage of her as well, hey? So this is Arrow. This is my big female diamond. Should be getting close to probably about 11 years old or thereabouts now. She's probably about, I don't know, 6 or so feet. Beautiful animal. She's got a beautiful nature on her as well. I'm not going to mess around with her too much just because it is the middle of, we're coming into diamond breeding season, so I don't really want to tempt fate here. I don't really want to annoy him too much. She's a beautiful animal. She actually looks like she's coming into shed sometime soon as well. Something I did fail to mention before is just what I'm using as a substrate and everything in there. It's just stock standard plain old Yuki mulch. It's just cheap and effective. Obviously having so many animals, you know, I can't be affording all the good stuff like the good critter crumble and other sorts like that. But it works. These guys seem to love it. The other thing that I've got in there at the moment as part of decor is I've just got some old palm fronds from around the house that have been in there just drying out from when my father-in-law cut them down not too long ago. Just a few plants, a few decent logs, especially the younger snakes. They love to get up there and have a bit of a climb around. I am actually also using UVB on these guys. I do have a couple of fluorescent tubes in there just up the top, just T8, so they're not really high output per se, but it's probably something I'll look at changing in the future. Probably go and do a T5 combo like I've been liking to do for the rest of my stuff. Yeah, but apart from that, the only other thing that I've got to talk about really is feeding these guys. Stock standard, just as per most pythons these days. They get rats. That's about it. Every now and then, if I happen to get on some chickens or some quails or something like that, they might get that as a bit of a treat. When I do feed these guys at the moment, I just take the two younger individuals out and feed them in some tubs, put them into the large snake rack inside these little tubs, let them digest overnight. You know, obviously it's going to take a few days for the meal to actually be properly digested, but it also gives me a chance to feed the big girl as well, give her a large rat, and then once the kind of rat smells out of the air, I can put them all back together and it's happy days. If you stuck around this long, thanks for watching the video. I hope you got something out of it. Pretty simple and pretty quick. You know, I didn't want to go too far into these guys just yet. But in saying that, I hope you really enjoy the video. Make sure you like the video, comment and subscribe to it as well. Cheers guys, we'll see you on the next one.